Neurodivergence is highly misunderstood. And thankfully, with new technology and science and also spirituality combining as one in the very near future, we're going to start to learn more about exactly what I'm going to tell you today. This is something that I have learned from my own life's experience. Now, I was never diagnosed, but I had all of these symptoms here. Today, specifically, we're going to be talking about high functioning autism because that's the only place that I can speak from. High functioning autism, they've only done clinical studies mostly on men. Because I was so blocked in so many different ways, I truly believed most of my life that I was extremely dumb. And I masked myself and I knew how to smile and I knew to say one or two words. I also had a lot of trauma that happened to me roughly starting around the age of 8. And then it got more extreme around the age of 11. But before that time period, I was already experiencing a lot of these things. One of the things that I really started to notice that when I started to figure out exactly how I was built, and I started to learn to work with how I was built and not taking in any information from what, doctors or these people say. In fact, my parents were very against doctors. That's why I never went to a doctor when I was a child. Eventually, I had to rewrite my entire life. I had to learn an entirely new way of living and built myself from the bottom up. Not long ago, only 7 years ago, I transformed my entire life. One of the things that I learned when I started to transform myself, my wisdom started to turn on. Autism is a frequency and it simply needs to be grounded. Yes, rewiring to can help with the brain as well, with the mind. Something like neurooptimal machine could be really good for the brain. You have to ground yourself because you're such high frequency. You're not only having to ground yourself, but you're also having to process your energy, but also the people around you. Depending on how big your auric field is, you have to process energy that possibly is from Bob from 3 doors down in your unit that you've never met. And you think you're internalizing that energy is yours. Because that is how much of a channel you have, a big aura you have. You're going to find that you are more in tune, or the unhealthy version of that is sensitive to energy, light, sound, feeling, touch, right? You have incredible sensitivities, but these sensitivities are actually your profound gifts. There's something that can help you to be in tune with things. That's one of the reasons why I'm such a great reader, is because I'm super in tune with all of my senses. I see, hear, know things that most people don't, and that is why my sessions are so incredibly powerful. You have that in you. You can use that any way that you like. That's just how I use it. Another thing is that we actually learn differently. See all these books here? Yeah, never read them. I do not read. I don't like reading. I can now if I want. I definitely have the ability to read now. I don't like it. To me, it feels very slow. It's a slow form of learning. Why learn slowly when you can receive an instant download and just know something? And because we have such big channels we can receive, and high frequency, we can receive a lot of wisdom once we start to actually work with how we're built. You learn differently. That's the reason why it feels so icky to learn, how other people kind of learn. Now, high frequency doesn't mean that you're better than others or worse than others. It simply means that you are built to anchor in your frequency rather than raise your frequency, as some people might call it. So you are also here to bring a lot of light into the world. You are naturally an activator. It's one of the reasons why my activations are so incredibly potent, is because I have that very high frequency channel that naturally activates people. And when I focus it on one person, incredible transformation can happen. It's why I just spent my entire year revamping my entire academy so I could have more activations in it. And because those activations are so incredibly powerful to help people to transform. Everyone on this planet has the ability to tap into the gifts as well, because it's a frequency thing. The more that you work on your internal state, the more you will begin to anchor in your natural frequency and your natural self, and you'll start to feel like you function what you might consider somewhat normal. I mean, we're always a little different, aren't we? But the more you're going to naturally start to turn on, and your wisdom, your innate gifts will naturally turn on, and it's going to feel like a super gift because that's the energy that's flowing through you now.